Hey everyone, it's Gary. How you doing? Welcome aboard to this week's live broadcast of My Business Services Path to Prosperity webinar. Uh, I'm in Laguna Beach, Laguna Niguel, California. So here you go. Here's a view of the ocean. And I'm doing this outside because I want to. In any case, tonight's subject is about planning. We talked about this a couple of times in the last month or so, and it came up loud and clear last week. It also came up with the mastermind we did over the weekend in San Diego. So I'm going to go over planning. I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I plan. I'm going to show you my planner and give you some actual examples and stuff like that. So we'll probably be at this maybe a half hour or so that I could open up for questions. And then next week we'll go into marketing and things like that. So far this year we've covered your database, your contact management system, how to build it, how to maintain it. And we talked about setting goals and stuff like that. So planning has come up, like, well, how do you actually plan? So I've got a unique spin on things I'll show you. But before we get into the details and the content, just a reminder that, every week we do these with rare exceptions. I do take off a couple weeks a year when I don't do it, like Christmas week, for example. But every time we do one, it gets recorded. So some of you will be watching this in recording mode, but regardless if you're watching live or recorded, please make sure you always look for the emails coming out from Beverly. All right, every day we do one of these, the next day she sends an email out, not just a copy of the recording, but also the schedule, coming up schedule, changes to the platforms, information, things like that. So make sure you always look for that for answers to some of your basic questions. Also, some good news, we are now officially announcing the next 3-day workshop, and that's in Anaheim, California, which is where Disneyland is. It's going to be at the Anaheim Marriott. That's at 700 West Convention Way in Anaheim, 92802. That's the zip code. So that's April 5th, 6th, and 7th. 5th and 6th being Friday and Saturday, and that's going to be 9 to 5, and the 7th will be Sunday from 9 to 1. Okay, so look forward to seeing you guys there. We're going to be doing 4 this year. We're not going to be doing them every month like we did last year. We're only going to do 4 this year, and we'll spread it out. So this will be, of course, West Coast. The last one of the year looks like it'll be Philadelphia. It'll be early November. Late August will be probably up in Boston. And then mid-June, we don't know yet. It's going to probably be either Milwaukee, Minneapolis, St. Paul, or possibly like Indianapolis, okay? Could be Detroit, just somewhere in the middle of the country. But for right now, the cool part is this is come on out to California, bring your loved ones with you, spend a couple days at Disneyland. It doesn't take much to do Disneyland and Adventure Park. It's not like Disney World in Florida where you can spend an entire week. Here, a couple days, you can see everything. But we look forward to seeing you there. In any case, without further ado, oh, by the way, special shout out to the mastermind members. We did have our 2-day retreat, the latest one this last weekend, Friday and Saturday down in San Diego. It's awesome, best one yet. And we did a special activity on Sunday morning because we can do outdoor stuff out here. So in any case, without further ado, I want you to make sure every one of you has your pens and pencils ready and something to write on. And before I get into a lot of details, let me just make sure everyone's okay here. So can you see me and hear my voice? So if you could let me know as far as sound and video, you're okay, that would be great. I'm going to open up your question box now. And by the way, if you do have questions before we get into the content, please let me know. Okay, so let me just double check attendees here. Let me see. We should have some fresh new faces from California. Actually, we got some fresh faces from California, but not you. How you doing, Cedric? Great call yesterday too, by the way. Doug Carroll, welcome aboard, buddy. Evelyn, I know we got a call coming up. Hey, Evelyn, check this out. The scheduling system, it's called Time Trade. It's an online system. It's a separate website. When I checked everything the other day, Evelyn, everything went back to Eastern Standard Time. I have no idea. It went to Pacific time, and for some reason, even though I'm still in California, it went to back to Eastern Standard Time. Go figure. But your time is you're good, Evelyn. Your time slot. Hey, doing Floyd, Genevieve, good to see you. Hope that things are doing okay for you up in Montreal. And Genevieve, let me know where you're on things. I know we had a couple of things couple irons in the fire. I just want to make sure where you are on your processes and make sure you're okay. Hey Pam, hope you and Tony are doing well. Patricia, Brennan, there's a fairly new one. Rika, Richard, Rolando, Mendez, and Bill Morrow. Welcome aboard, Bill. Good to see you again. So Bill, hopefully you can come to the 3-day event end of the year or November in Philly. That would be awesome. So in any case, let's do this, guys. Make sure you have something to write on and write with, okay? Now, my planner that I use is this. It's the Franklin Daily Planner, right, from Franklin Covey. Stephen Covey's passed away. I've been doing this, guys, for 30 years. Literally, this 2019 marks the 30 years I've been doing this. I can't believe it's been 30 years. And boy, what I've accomplished in 30 years. And I credit a large part to this, okay? You can use any system you want. There's several that are great. You know, I'm not going to necessarily recommend anything in particular. It's just I used a Franklin one. The particular version I use is called the Original Classic. So these pages are like 5 by 8.5. Okay, 5 by 8.5. And I always keep a carrier zip up. I like it to zip up because I have some loose stuff here in the back sometimes. I keep all my prayers back here, my affirmations. I think blank paper I keep back here. All right. So that's what I use. I know several people started using this. There's different versions within the Franklin Planner system. That just happens to be the one that I like the best. There's different versions. And I'll tell you why I like it. I've got an entire view here of the year, right? So I can see the entire year. I only keep 2 months in here at a time. So this is January. I still got December in here, all right? And tomorrow I'm going to take December out, and I'm going to put in February. So I've got February. See that? You can see the schedule for February on 2 pages. So it's each block is a day, and all this are the big ticket items that I'm going to be doing that day. I've got classes scheduled all throughout February. When I put the February planner in, the layout is going to be, of course, just like January and every other month. All right. So if you look at it, it's day by day. So let me just describe this to you. Over here, I have the things I need to accomplish that day. Okay. Special notes at the bottom. Here is time blocking. I time block every week, every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year. Time block. And if you notice here, okay, there's chunks of time open. So let me hold that thought for a second. I'll go over here. This is the notes page. I take notes every single day. Look at all these notes from yesterday. Okay? Oops, sorry, over here. That's a lot of notes. People I've met, things I have to remember, phone calls I need to make, so forth and so on. That's the basic layout. Now back here to time blocking, I'm going to give you a real big tip here. Time blocking is crucial to success. It's how you time block that makes the difference. So one of the big tips is this. When you time block, now I generally start at about 5 in the morning and go to about 10 at night. I'm not working the entire time. When I get up in the morning, maybe it's 6 sometimes, depends on where I am and how much time I've got. The first 3 hours of my day are all me. I don't even turn on the phone. I don't turn on the computer, except for my exercise program. But in that 3 hours, I pray, exercise, meditate, eat breakfast, shower, and do some quick texting and phone calling with my wife. Okay, so that takes about 3 hours. Then I turn on the switch for the day and open up the world and open up my phone, open up my computer, and open up you. You're my world. Okay, and I'll schedule all the way out to about 9 at night. The reason I do 12 hours is of course I'm on the West Coast now. Many of you are on the East Coast, and it's a little bit after 7 your time. And when I'm on the East Coast, I've got folks from California that I work with, so I got to be available in a time frame that's workable for the folks in California. But here's the big thing. Obviously, I have time set aside for dinner, for personal time, for exercise, like I said. Um, but the thing I discovered was this is, in addition to all that, I always leave at least 2 time blocks, 2 hours free that I don't schedule anything in. And here's why. Life's going to happen, right? You got the best plan in the world, and you wake up, and all of a sudden you get an email you didn't expect, you get a phone call you didn't expect, your school calls, and your child fell off the jungle gym, and you got to go pick them up. Or you had your car in for inspection, and you say, hey, you know what? You've got to get new tires, or whatever the case is. Um, if your day is completely scheduled out from bookend to bookend, and something comes in to your life that day, you've got to make an adjustment, which means you've got to do what you've got to do in the immediate future for the flat tires, for example, or new tires, and then not do something you said you were going to do. Postpone it for a day, postpone it for a week, whatever the case is. The point is if you leave an extra hour or two, you can often absorb the things that pop up during the day and still stay on task and get everything accomplished you wanted to accomplish for the day. So far, I just want to make sure you guys are okay and you're following where I'm going with this. Time blocking does not mean you use every single hour. Time blocking means you plan what you need to accomplish and you account for the things that do pop up, seems to be sometimes on a regular basis. Now, let's say, for example, you're going through your day and it turns out no surprises, no out of the blue emails needing your attention, and everything goes smoothly and you've got extra time. What should you do? Well, I think you should do something for yourself, like read or listen to something on Audible, or go for a walk, or call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Call a friend. Okay, use the time wisely. Whatever it is you do, don't turn on the TV. All right, TV bad, book good. All right. Now, I probably let me rephrase that. TV has its purpose in life. There are things that definitely are worthwhile. But what I stopped doing years ago is I don't even have a TV, right? Frankly, anymore. And if I watch something on TV, it's because it's something like, you know, National Geographic, Discovery Channel, things like that. Every now and then, I like a good basketball game or a hockey game or a football game, but I kind of turned off the NFL in the last couple of years. I just figured out it was actually a big business too, and that's fun to watch it. But I just learned some things I really don't care for anymore. It had nothing to do with the kneeling, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying I'm for it against it, but it had to do with the business end of football. I always thought, boy, it seems like sometimes these guys are not really trying to win, or they're trying to let the other team catch up. Well, guess what? There's some truth to that, okay? It kind of turned me off. I'd rather watch college football where those guys are getting after it with heart and soul. So in any case, back to what I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't be no fun. All work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy, right? But instead of watching somebody else play a sport, how about you play a sport yourself? Play tennis, take up jogging, take up surfing, okay? The official sport of California now is surfing. Excuse me. The point is this is, if you plan that way, I promise you'll always go to bed at the end of the day feeling like you're on task and you accomplished what you want to accomplish. You didn't get derailed by some life events, okay? Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the actual planning. This is where the rubber meets the road. So everybody, please pay attention and get ready to ask questions. In fact, let me just double check here and make sure we're okay on questions. So hang on one second. Dana Truman, time for surfing. That's right, Dana. Let's see. Genevieve is just saying, sounds good. I'll send you an email with my update. Oh, thanks, Genevieve. Okay. Let's see. Old standby here. Sound is good. Okay. Hey, Bill, is good. Always good to see you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Genevieve, at 23, it looks pretty good to me. Thanks, Genevieve. Okay. Let's see. Floyd, good to see you, Floyd. Okay. Sorry, I don't think we have any questions right now. So let's do this. All right. Assuming that you've got your goals set for the year. Now, there's a lot more to this, guys. There's a whole program I take the mastermind students through. It's a 4-step process. Usually takes about a month to accomplish. I have them start off with their vision. Okay, vision for the year is like an entire vision exercise. It's actually a life vision, and from the vision statement, we determine what our goals are, which is an entirely different exercise. It requires some setup, requires some time for yourself, okay, and some quiet, peaceful time for prayer and meditation, so that you can do a good, proper job of your vision statement and your goals database. The third step is determining actions. Okay, we don't go to planning yet. We create an actions database first. Then when we get to planning, we actually go back to the goals, because our actions database is going to be with us at all times, right? So if you've never done that before, come to one of the 3-day events, talk to some of the mastermind guys, and when you become a mastermind member, I actually take you through it. It's just a more in-depth process. It takes 4 sessions, and you've got to spend a half a day each session minimum. And if you can do it in 4 days, that's great. Usually it takes people about a month to accomplish this. Now, at that point, assuming you've got your goals, wherever you got your goals from, here's what I want you to start writing. You typically have 3 categories of goals, right? You've got the now goals, which things you're working on now. I'm assuming they're important, or you wouldn't be working on them. You got goals you want to accomplish in the next 12 months. Those are your annual goals. So you categorize these. Now goals, capital N. 1-year goals, capital O for 1, or OY, 1 year if you want to do that. And everything else goes on the back burner. It doesn't mean they go away. It just means you're putting them to sleep temporarily. These are things like that you want to do that are important to you, but there's other things you want to do that are more important to you to do this year. For example, many of you want to learn how to buy your own properties, your own investment properties. Many of you you're just getting started, you need to get your commissions built up, okay? But a lot of you have other things. You want to travel. You want to go to Europe. You want to go to Africa. You want to go to Australia. You want to learn a foreign language. Maybe you want to learn Japanese or German. But they don't really make sense to do right now. They're noble, worthwhile goals, but you put them in the future category, capital F for future category. And I will tell you this, I've been doing this process I'm describing to you probably 20 years at least, okay? And sometimes your future goals will change. You'll add some things, you'll delete some things. As you age and mature and grow and become more wise, some things will become less important to you, some things will become more important, okay? But in any case, back to what we're talking about. Let's take an example of an annual goal. Let's take that as an example so I can explain how the planning works, okay? So let's take one of your annual goals, and let's say it's you buying a 20-unit building, all right? You want to buy a 20-unit building, which I might imagine buying a 20-unit building takes quite an effort, takes some effort. And you don't just accomplish it in the next 30 days, right? Let's say it's going to take you a year. Now, it'll make more sense as I go through this. So on day 365, in other words, you have your planner here, okay? You go to the end, in my case, it would be end of September, and I would plot out here, all right? Let's see here, September, is that right? Here we go. You'll see I've already got some things in here. Look at that, right? Here, way up here. Day 365, you're going to write this down. Close on 20-unit building, which means you sit at the settlement, the closing table, you sign the documents, you take the title to the property, and you get the keys, and you're now the proud owner of a 20-unit building. Well, as you might imagine, it didn't all happen by magic. There was a lot that went into it. So to buy a 20-unit building, there's probably 4 major, we call this the big rock, by the way. So buying a 20-unit building, that's your big rock. The big rock is really made up of 4 parts, 4 medium-sized rocks. Quarter number 4 at month number 9, so in other words, you got 4 quarters in a year, 12 months divided by 4 quarters, 3 months per quarter. So month number 9, month 12 is you bought the property. Month number 9 is you secured financing. That's month number 9, you secured financing, okay? That's one big chunk. Month number 6, the second quarter, could be you got the property under contract. It's officially under contract, all right? Um, into the first quarter might be you've narrowed things down, macro geography and micro geography. So within a macro region, you've identified maybe 3 smaller subregions to look in to buy this 20-unit building. Okay. Now what we do is this: you've got 4 major chunks, 4 rocks, 4 medium-sized rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to take the second, third, and fourth quarter and put those asleep. And we're going to focus on the first quarter. In other words, it doesn't make sense to take action on things in the second, third, and fourth quarter when you've got the first quarter to deal with. So now we got the first quarter identified, and we're going to break that down into 3 chunks because there's 3 months per quarter. Let's just say that's January, February, March. Okay. Now you got 3 smaller rocks. So figuring out the macro areas and the micro areas might involve a couple of components. Maybe you identify in the first month an investor agent, someone like you or me that's trained to work with investors. That's the first month. You interview 3 of them, you settle on the one you want to work with. The second month, you identify the macro areas, and the third month, you identify the micro areas. Just giving you a rough idea here. So what we'll do now is, we got 3 months. We're going to put month number 2 and month number 3 asleep. We're going to focus on month number 1, the month immediately in front of you. Again, month 2 and month 3 are important, but it generally does not make sense to take actions to meet those objectives, but we've still got to work on month number 1, right? So now month number 1, as you might imagine, obviously has 4 weeks. So we break our activities that we have now 4 smaller chunks, all right? 4 smaller chunks. Weeks 2, 3, and 4 go on the back burner, and you focus on week 1. Let's do a quick pause here. So far what we've done, we went from 12 months out, the annual goal, broke it down into 4 quarters, identified the 4 quarters, put the second, third, and fourth quarter in sleep mode, focus on the first quarter, the one immediately in front of us. We broke that into 3 smaller chunks. That's 3 months per quarter, right? Figure those out, put the second and third month asleep and focused on the first month. Excuse me, couldn't do my ring finger that way. First month, all right? And broke that into 4 smaller chunks, 1 week per chunk, 4 weeks in a month. Put the first 3 weeks asleep and focus on the first week. Here's where the rubber meets the road, all right? This is where you actually take your actions from your actions database and start putting them in each day of the week ahead. So I generally do this, what I'm describing now, on Friday night, Saturday, or Sunday. I will plot out the following week on Friday night, Saturday, or Sunday. And what I'll do is I'll look at my actions database, take the actions that are required for each of those days and plot them out. Okay, plot those out. Oops, excuse me. Hour by hour, leaving some available time slots open. And over here, I write the individual details, all right? The individual details go here, literally, and this is down to the finest level of detail, guys. I'm talking about individual phone calls I'll put on here, right? I'll identify them over here, who I've got to call, why I've got to call them, their phone number. Over here, I just say call whatever, Bob, Joe, Sue, Jane, all right? I plot these out as much detail as I need to for my actions database, every single action to accomplish what I've got to accomplish that day. And I do that every day for the week coming up, all 7 days. I generally plot out 5 business days, and on Saturday or Sunday, I might do a little bit of work, but not much, generally not ever on a Sunday, very rarely on a Sunday. Saturday, I might do a half a day, okay? And I might leave a time chunk open to maybe clean up some stuff I didn't get to do earlier in the week, okay, if I need to do that. What I don't want to do is I don't want to overplan and set myself up for disappointment, okay? Which leads me to the next thing. Excuse me. As you go through the day, all right, you'll notice I've checked off the things I accomplished, right? I checked them off. And I check them off as I do them. The reason you do that is it gives you positive feedback. Positive feedback here, in here, it's cathartic. It's like reinforcements. Every time you accomplish a small task, that small task in and of itself is like a small goal. So you accomplish a small goal, okay, and you reward yourself for it with a little check mark. Right now, at the end of the day, I review everything, and if there's something I didn't do, I'm not going to beat myself up because I realize, my gosh, look at all that I did accomplish. Right, number one. Also, there might be some small item I can do before I go to bed. But before I do that, what I do is I look at the next day, make any adjustments I need to make, okay? And when I go to bed at night, I can relax. I've got the date figured out. It's always in pencil because I know that sometimes God's plans are different than our plans. It needs to be flexible. And anything I didn't do today, I'll see where I can fit it in the subsequent days. And as much as I can, try to get it all done within that week. The weekly chunk is the thing. Like, it's okay to be flexible throughout the day because you have to be, but what you set out to accomplish, you try to stick with that weekly objective. Because if you do that, the next week falls in a line the way you thought it would, the third week, the fourth week, and then you got your first month under control, right? Which means you've got the first of 3 months in the first quarter under control, which means you got the first month of the first quarter of the year, the 4 quarters in a year, under control. All right. Now, one more thing, and then I'll open up for questions here. I actually have a process called the one more thing process, which is this. At the end of the day, I'm looking what I've done, and I'll ask myself, is there something I can do that I didn't do today that I still should do, or something for tomorrow that if I did it today would really position me well for the next day and the following day and so forth and so on. And maybe it's a quick email. Maybe it's a thank you note. Maybe it's a quick phone call, okay? But I'll do one more thing, even if it takes 5 minutes. And here's the deal. 5 minutes is all I'm asking. Give yourself 5 more minutes each day over and above what you said you were going to do, all right? And here's why. If you did that 5 times a week, and then you did that for 50 weeks. So that's 250 times you're going to do this. 250 times you come up with an extra 5 minutes. Guys, that is 1,250 minutes. How much can you accomplish in 1,250 minutes? Well, we know there's 60 minutes in an hour. So that comes out to, 6 hours, 12, 120, excuse me. That's, how many times does 6 go into 120? That's 20. That's like, what is that, 20 days or something? I don't know, plus another 5 hours. Think what you can do with all that extra effort, what you can accomplish in your year. That's why I call it the one more thing process, because really successful people, I'm not saying be like Elon Musk. That guy, he confesses he works, as much as he can 24/7. He hardly ever sleeps, and he never takes a day off. He's done some pretty neat things, but quite frankly, I don't know about you guys, but if you have loved ones, your family, your friends, your neighbors, they're only going to be so patient. So you deserve to enjoy your life. And you may enjoy your work like I do, but by golly, I make sure I make time for my family. And people will tell you, I will fly, I will drive up to 13, 14 hours for a family member, for a loved one. I go the extra mile for my family. So even though I work an awful lot, I love what I do, I enjoy it. I always make the stretch for my loved ones. And it's because of this process that I'm able to do that, all right? So in any case, let's do this. What I want to do is open up the floor for questions. That's the content I had today, guys. If you need more information, let's see, this is Bill. Philadelphia sounds like a real possibility this year. Hey, Bill, I'd love to have you there, man. If you can pitch in and help out, that would be great. I'll figure out on what it all takes to be part of it, okay? So in any case, guys, if you have questions, now's the time to let me know. This session was planned to be about a half hour, so we're actually at a half hour now, but I don't mind answering questions. I hope this process helps you. In fact, if you could give me some positive feedback on your question box, just say you like this process, you want to learn more about it. What I will do for you is this. If you want to get yourself a planner and you want to set up a strategy call, I can work with you one-on-one if you want to. Pick a project, pick a goal, whatever. I want to help you guys succeed. And the way you do it is for us to work together through these group sessions. Eventually you can become part of the mastermind program. Some of you are in coaching already, which means you get access to all 5 training programs and more access to me directly and personally. But whatever it is, at whatever level you're at, give me the opportunity to help you and serve you and help you succeed. Okay. So, in any case, I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. Cedric did have a question. Did I miss the? Did I miss the buckets? The 3 buckets. So Cedric, so you got your annual goal. We just take one for example. That goal should be broken up into 4 chunks, which is 1 chunk per quarter. Okay, so now you got 4 smaller chunks. Each quarter is broken up into 3 months. Now you got 3 smaller chunks. 4 quarters. Yeah, 3 months per quarter. So 3 chunks per quarter. That's 3 chunks there. Then each quarter is broken up into 4 weeks. That's this finer level of detail, smaller chunks. So four chunks, okay, on a monthly basis. And then each chunk is a week. Then each week you plan out daily. You plan out a week in advance, every hour of every day, leaving some free time. That's the basic methodology there. So good question. I appreciate that. Good. You're welcome, Cedric. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to. Let's see here. This is from Dana. What brand day planner by? So Dana, I used a Franklin planner. You go right to I think it's Franklin Planner. Yeah, franklinplanner.com. And Franklin, they named after your son. Just kidding. But you can tell your son that. Tell him you got a daily planner that's named after him, Franklin Planner. Any case, I like it. Works great. Usually you can get the entire insert section, all that. That usually costs you about $40. This whole chunk in here, right? Excuse me. Oops, there it goes. All the months, all the inserts, all the days. That's about $37, $40. And then the cover, I like this cover. It's leather bound. I think that's about $50. You don't have to get this one. You can get any cover you want, but you definitely need a cover, all right? And then I also get the storage boxes. So I keep all of these. So every year that I change out the new year, I put the last year in the storage box. It goes in its own sleeve. And I've got, as of course you can imagine, I've got 29 of them right now. I'll soon have, I got 30 of them, soon to be 31. So, you'll see it all makes sense once you start it, because they give you the whole package, right? Okay, so this is Genevieve. Hi, Genevieve. Genevieve's asking, the planner can be online now. Why is it you prefer the paper? So for Genevieve, for me, I like paper because I always have access to it. I know I've always got my phone. I've always got my my computer. But something magical happens when you write things down. I just don't know how else to describe it, other than to tell you that when you write things down, it just seems to have more. It's like cathartic. You're using your eyes, your mind, you're writing. You got your hand movement getting involved there. You're seeing, you're reading all these multiple sources of input. But and writers will tell you too. There's something magical about writing. I don't know what it is. Wish I could describe it to you, but that's, for me. I just like it better. Also, the Franklin Planner, there's no battery that ever runs out. If it gets wet, it still works. And like, I don't like taking computers and stuff like that down to the beach. I like working from the beach, so I can have my planner. And I don't really care if it gets a little bit wet or whatever, But those are some practical reasons why. I just like having it. Probably part of it's habit too. Thanks for the question, by the way. Okay, let's see. That was Dana. You're welcome, Dana. Let's see. Jeff saying, I love the planner. Love journaling. Yeah, so you can journal in it, Genevieve. And I do still use my phone and my computer, no doubt about it, right? Like, I can see when I've got an appointment coming up, but here tells me why I have the appointment and what I need to do in the appointment. Okay. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. So whatever it is you want to go over in these webinars, please let me know. Please email me, give me some feedback. And I just want to know a week in advance so I can prepare for it, all right? So if you want to cover something next week, let me know in the next day or two, and I'll prepare for it. All right. Okay. Well, God bless you all. Oh, hang on. This is Jeff Johnston. Oh, that's the journaling statement. Thanks, Jeff, for that. And thanks to everybody, by the way. God bless you and your families. Um, 2019 shaping up to be an awesome year, guys. Participate, network, take action, make it work, make me proud, okay? Um, and get the results you want. So God bless you. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.